Good evening and welcome to another episode of Que-stead-Que. What you gonna do? I don't know, but something's gonna grow. Well, hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Que-stead-Que. Well, you guys, I did this huge episode on yesterday. I went out to the greenhouse and I decided to transplant, number one, my sister's 3 potatoes. I transplanted my collards and let's see what else. Oh, the green beans and my squash, I believe. A few of the squash. And so I decided because I took all the plants out on yesterday, well, not all of them. I took all the ones from my bedroom in the back, out back to start hardening them off. And the peppers, I took everything but the peppers, which were in that other room. And so I hardened them off. I was out there for a good 2 hours. And so I was getting them hardened off. And after about 2 hours, the patty pan squash started to stress. It looped over. And so I knew it was time to bring everything in. And so I decided to take a chance and leave some of the plants out there. Because now yesterday our high was 48. Oh, this has been a horrible weekend. We've been bouncing around here in Michigan, and I guess you all have the same complaints because I've heard some of you say that your weather has gone back and forth, back and forth. It's the same way here. We've hit 90 a couple of times, 85. For the most part, it's been in the mid to high 70s, which has been perfect. And then all of a sudden, we'll get a frost and then the weather will just tank. And so yesterday our high was 48 and the greenhouse was at 70 when I went in there. But in 2 hours when I came out, and I had it closed while I was in there, only thing that's open with the greenhouse are the windows to keep it vented out because it was getting so hot earlier. So with the windows open only, it dropped down in 2 hours, it dropped down to 60. And so that's when I packed up the plants, put them on the wagon, and brought them in, and they're doing fine now. I couldn't take them out today because the temperature's even lower today, and it's been raining all day long. It's just a hot mess out there. And so, but I had to walk out in the pouring rain to go check on the few plants that I left in there. I left in the squash, and of course, the green beans, you know, they're already transplanted. And those were so stressed that yesterday they started breaking. And so a lot of them don't even have leaves because they broke right there at the leaves. I had to toss those, but the stems were still alive and the roots were good. So I just transplanted that. So I had 5 that did that. And then some of them snapped in half, but didn't quite break. I don't know what's going to happen. So I had to go out there to at least check on those today. They started perking up a little bit, those that did survive the transplant. They started perking up, but they're still not all the way back to where they should be. They're nice and moist. I filled up, I put them into that deck garden that's in there that already had soil, and then I amended. I had a bag of soil that I needed to amend in the wagon. I amended it, and I put that on top of that. And I fertilized real good, and then I filled up that little spout, you know, for the deck garden until the soil started feeling moist. And so once that happened, I watered the top, so that's all ready and set to go. Both of my trees have succumbed, and I know it's my fault because, you know, that one budded, the other one had buds on it. The one was getting ready to bloom. Those blooms have died. And the tree itself, so the dwarf cherry tree and the other tree have died. So when the Grow Club come, I'm gonna see if one of the guys can pull those trees up. I'm gonna save that wood because it's cherry wood. So I'll just cut it and save it and use it for the pit, the barbecue pit. But in the meantime, I'm going to use those 2 tubs that are in there, and I'm gonna replace those trees. You know, my tree luck, I've spent too much on trees, although I usually get them on clearance and whatnot, but it's just too much because I'm not putting any in the ground. And keeping them in the container just hasn't worked out for me. I've gotten rid of the 2 pear trees, which were actually saved, so that wasn't such a waste. I gave those to Robert. And then I gave him the peach tree, and he said every one of them are doing excellent this year. And he put his in the ground because his backyard is bigger, and he doesn't have as many trees in his backyard that I do. So he put them in the ground when I gave them to him, and they're doing fine. But the 2 cherry trees have been lost. And all will not be lost because I'm going to keep that wood. But anyway, but I'm going to replace them with bushes. So I'll probably, and I think I'm going to order one. I would like a pink lemonade blueberry bush. And then I might order another variety of raspberry, maybe black raspberry or something. I'm just look through all the berry bushes at Stark's. And I'll spend a little, you know, since they're going to be permanently in the greenhouse. And I'll see if they need pollinating. If not, then I'll just get the bushes and grow them in there. And I think those will do better for me. And now that I have the new water hose, I can water. And what happened was I should have started watering those cherry trees as soon as they began to wake up. It was the same with the strawberries. I lost the pink strawberries and I lost the white strawberries. I lost all that. But the one strawberry that comes back every year, this is like my 4th or 5th year, that came back with a vengeance. And I watered those. I've been watering those, and they are growing for me, so I will get some. And then we're taking a field trip, I think it's this week, to St. Joe Farm, Trinity Health Farms. I filmed that one time when I was there at the hospital. Well, we're going to be doing a tour, a potluck, and then they're going to be giving us free strawberry plants there. So I'll replenish a few strawberries when I go to that event or that field trip, which is coming up either this week or next week. I'm not sure. I think it's next week because this week is our plant sale. So I'll be going to that on Friday from 6 to 8. And I did 4 volunteer hours this year, so I'll get 4 free plants, and then the rest will be $1. So I'm gonna get the Little Fingers eggplant. I need to replace that because mine died, and I'll probably end up getting some of the tomato varieties that they have. I know they did Cherokee Purple, and I know they did San Marzano, so I'll probably get one of each of those, and then whatever else they may have that I don't have. Sweet peppers, that's my number one. I'm not going to fool with the herbs because I have perennial herbs for one, and then I will be purchasing the French tarragon. Hopefully, if Pelly's get it, and I think they will, I'll be purchasing that, and that's what I want to load up on. And then my other herbs came back. Now, what I did on yesterday was I pruned the mojito mint, because none of that came back. The creeping rosemary and the regular rosemary did not come back, but I think I needed to trim it. So I cut all that, and I didn't do it back in the fall. So I cut it down to the nub, and I'm going to see if it begins to sprout for me. I don't know if it will or not, but believe me, if I see some mojito mint at Pelly's and the creeping rosemary, I'll get that anyway. So if it doesn't come back, I'll just take the dead roots up out of the things, and I'll replace those. And I'll probably end up bringing all that in for the winter. That way I know it will survive over the winter. And then I'll just bring it back out in the spring because I'm going to be bringing that Piper nigrum in. And speaking of Piper nigrum, the black pepper, Renee, I found the video, and I will post the link. All the videos to Piper nigrum were in other languages or very hard to understand because it originates from India, but people from China, Japan, and India, and Pakistan, you know, those countries, they did the tutorials on it, and I had a hard time understanding, and they were speaking of their climate zone. But there was one American video, which was actually a newscast, where a lady was explaining about Piper nigrum, the different varieties, and how to grow it. And so she gave strict instructions. It was only like a 5-minute video, and I think you're going to be able to do it. She said you can grow it as a house plant. It will produce year round. And so basically all we will need to do, and I will provide the link, Renee, so you can watch it over and over. we're going to need some type of cocoa core type of material and a stake. It likes to climb. It doesn't vine out or anything, but it climbs and it can get very big. So since mine's going to be in the greenhouse, my assumption is that mine is going to take off in there. And then with you being in zone 7, yours will probably take off outside. And then we'll bring them in for the winter months before the first frost hit. So mine will come in September when I bring in the cotton. So I'm going to go to Home Depot and see if I can find some of that cocoa core material. And then I'm going to buy a stake for it to climb. And so mine is going to go right in that corner. See where my lamp is? In that corner where that chair is? I'll be able to put that tub right there on the floor, and then I'll probably pull the chair out a little bit and put it behind the chair, and then let it just climb right up the wall there. And then it's going to be right next to my register, because I have a register on both sides of the love seat. So it will get the heat from the register, and then it'll have that wall to balance on. And then my sun simulating lamp, which gets very bright, I'm going to be using that starting in late August. I'm going to use it. And then I'm going to use it I'm going to run it all day during the winter time so that I don't suffer. So it will get plenty of light and it will get plenty of heat. So it should survive over the winter as a house plant. And if it does well, I'll just leave it in unless I can carry it, depending on how big it gets, unless I can carry it back to the greenhouse next spring. But anyway, so the lady on the thing used cocoa core type material. So I'm thinking they probably sell that at Home Depot. And you just wrap it around the stake that you're going to use. That's what she did. And it grabbed onto that because it's going to need a material. I guess the tool might even work too. It just needs something that it can grab onto. But I'm going to look for the cocoa core because that's what she used. And it really liked it because that is the environment that it grows in from those trees that produces that cocoa core material that we usually purchase. So anyway, so that's it for the, as far as the Piper nigrum is concerned. And I will add the link. If I forget, remind me. But I'll try to remember to do that later as soon as I upload this video. What's the other thing? Another thing I wanted to discuss. Well, okay, so the greenhouse, you know what happened. And I walked out there today in that pouring rain. And like I said, the green beans, they're doing good, but they're still lanky like they were. So I just left them. Some of them I were able to get around the trellis and some of them broke. And then the other ones, I just let them just stay there in the soil. We'll see if they take off or not. That's something I can always transplant again if I lose them, although it's going to hurt because I had planted so many, but I can just stick beans right there in that same soil and they will come up and I will still get green beans. And actually I can do more and they'll be more straight and even in that tub. In fact, I'm going to give it 2 weeks. I'm going to give it 2 weeks until Memorial Day. And if they haven't bounced back by then I'm going to just yank those up, consider it a loss, and I will just direct sow beans into that tub. And I know they'll come up and they'll produce all summer long. By July, I'll have beans coming, especially in that hot greenhouse. Even with the shade cloth, it's still going to hit 100 in there. It's just that I don't want the plants to burn up and stress. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to mention was prepping, okay? I've been seeing some prepping videos lately, and the word is that Thailand had that typhoon last year, so the rice crop went bad. And so they're saying this month, look for the price of rice to just skyrocket. They said it's already gone up, but they said it's going to go even higher. Rice, beans, cocoa, because the cocoa crop went bad due to flooding. They only grow it in certain countries. I know Africa is one, and I forget the other country. So the cocoa bean plant or whatever went bad. So they said the price of chocolate is going to go up in cocoa. So they said if it's anything, like if you cook with cocoa, if you drink hot cocoa, if you eat chocolate, all that, they said stock up on that chocolate. So I'm letting y'all know, I'm getting ready to do it this week. They said stock up on olive oil. The olive crop went bad last year, and I think the olives were grown in the same country where the cocoa is grown. And then won't even add tariffs in that to that. This is just in general, not even it's not even tariff related. So if you add tariffs to it, it's really going to go up. But they said expect that to go up. Tuna fish, salmon. Although salmon can be caught here, and then I think tuna can be caught here in America. But your specialties like albacore and different ones, you may not be able to obtain that. But they said stock up on that. And they said stock up on oats because they said the oat crop went bad. So they said the price of oats. So oatmeal, oats, that type of thing. So basically your grains in general, you want to stock up on that. And that's something that's usually very, very cheap, but the price is going to go sky high. And yep. So I'm just letting you know, this is what I've been seeing on the videos. You all may have seen it too. And then, on top of the other shortages and other mayhem that's happening, you want to stock up. This is the time. So like I said, I'm going to take $100 out the budget just to stock up on more grain. I have a lot, but I need to rotate, and I'm going to stock up on some more. I'm straight with the butter. Oh, the other one they said to stock up on? Honey. They said, please stock up on honey. The one video I watched, the guy, his friend is a beekeeper. So if you keep your own bees, you're fine. But if you're not a beekeeper and you depend on store-bought honey or honey from a beekeeper, you want to stock up on honey. So in June, I'm going to start hitting the farmer's market again because my bee man will be getting his fresh honey in at that time. And so I already have a stock of honey. As you all know, I bought that quart and I have about 3 pints. I'm going to stock up. I'm going to get the big giant 9-gallon quart that he carries. And I'm also going to get a couple of more quarts. And I think I will be straight with honey for the rest of my life. I have vanilla. I'm straight with that. And so, yep, that's the other thing that they said. Stock up on honey. And then I think I mentioned olive oil. So that's about it, you guys. I just wanted to mention that. So we're at 17 minutes. So I'll be getting off of here because I have to do another video for my other channel on today. And so, yep. So happy growing to those of you growing. I've been watching your videos and trying to respond to them. So I'm still playing catch up. So I will be back on probably, unless I go to the greenhouse and do something on tomorrow. I've been trying to rest because I was feeling an MS attack coming on, but I staved it. And it's all because of the steroid that I was on. I've been off for a week, so I started having bounce back symptoms of MS. And thank goodness I had to slow it down and rest so to stave off getting a full-fledged flare and having to go back on steroids. So I was able to do that. I've been sleeping real good, just resting. And with the exception of the little bit I did yesterday while sitting down, I have been just resting all weekend. So that's what I'm doing now. And I feel pretty good. So no symptoms today. I'm doing fine. So I think the steroid is finally coming out of my system and I should be okay. Now I do have to go tomorrow to get some tape because I forgot to purchase tape for the greenhouse. And I will also look for that cocoa core on tomorrow when I run up to Home Depot. If I can't find it there, I'll try out Lowe's or Menards. And I still have to get that chicken manure. I knew it wasn't going to fit in my car on Friday, so I waited on it, and I said I would wait until the Grow Club. In fact, I'll probably go Wednesday to do all what I need to do at Home Depot, because once they unload the soil, then I'll be able to go get the chicken manure. I wanted to at least get my black cow, and that's what I did on Friday. I got my black cow manure. And so I'll go back to get the chicken manure. It'll fit once they get all that soil out of my back seat. And then that's when I'll get the cocoa core and the tape for the greenhouse. And that's all I need to get garden-wise. And then the sale is going to be this Friday. So, like I said, I'll get a few plants. And that's when I plan to get as many seeds as I can. I never did make it to the seed giveaways this year because I was dealing with everything else with my eyes and all that. And so they did the seed giveaways, but they're going to have seeds at the event. They said for those who haven't gotten seeds. So I will be collecting seeds then, and I'm going to collect as many as I can. And I wrote down what you guys want. So if I see those seeds, I will get them. So I'm very late with the seeds this year, you guys. That should have been a month and a half ago, you know, but it was nothing I can do. And then I missed half the events for, you know, volunteering, because last year I had like 15 hours. I got all my little plants for free last year, the ones that I got. So this year I will be buying, but for $1, hey, can't complain at all. So between that and getting the French tarragon and the mojito mint and possibly the creeping rosemary, that's all I need to get this year. And I'm done with the garden as far as purchasing. I'm starting to run low on some fertilizers and stuff. So I need to do inventory because I know I have some new bags there. So I need to see what I need to get. I know I need to get some more muriate of potash for sure. So I'll be getting that towards the end of the month. And then other fertilizers that I need. Okay, you guys, so that's it. I'm going to get off of here. Just wanted to chat today. So that's it. So that's where I'm at with the Que-stead. And, oh, and the lawn. Oh, we'll talk about that later. It's better to show you than to tell you. Oh, I hope I get some new ones because the city contracted it out to a company. And the two that they sent, one did not speak English and the other one was a crackhead. They came in with a riding lawnmower, did a circle around my front yard, didn't even go on the edges or anything, did a circle in the backyard. It doesn't even look cut. And then the guy with the weed whacker, he did one little side of the fence. The guy on the riding lawnmower zoomed back up to the truck. They both jumped in and they left. So I'm not calling to complain because it's free. I'm going to let others complain. But I'm thinking because they contracted a company, I won't have the same ones every week. So I'm going to see what happens when they come back, you know, for the next cutting. But it's horrible. And then with the rain coming right after that, the grass is shot right back up in the spot that he did cut, okay? So it is what it is. Now, I said I'm not complaining because the city will put a sign on your door letting you know that you're going to get a ticket if you don't cut your grass. I'm praying that the city puts a sign on my door. Then I will go down to the city and show it to Candace, the lady who runs OSHA, and tell her, listen, I got this from the city and I'm getting mine free through the city. So the city needs to hire somebody else to cut my lawn since they're not satisfied. So I'm just going to do it that way. I'm not going to complain because I can't say it looked better than what it looked. I really cannot honestly say that. But they're doing it and it's free, okay? Because I know I can't get out there and do it this year. It's just impossible this year for me to do it. And so I will leave it at that. So I will talk to you guys later, and may God bless you all, and happy gardening. 'Tis the season. Hopefully for some of y'all, because I'm not planting nothing out yet. Oh, but my cold crops are doing excellent, though. They're growing, and they're pushing the tool up as they grow. I'm loving that. So, because I left extra room for that to happen, and I was hoping they'd be strong enough to do that, and it's working out fine. Nothing has bothered it, nothing. Okay, so I will talk to you guys later, and may God bless you all. Bye-bye.